And what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk to you about something that is important to me, and I feel like it's important to you guys as well. And I wanted to make it like a different type of style video so that way I can have you guys visually see what it is that I'm speaking to you. And so today is October 1st, and as you know, it is the beginning of our winter arc. So it is going to be the journey of your winter arc. Begins today. Whether I upload this today on the 1st or if I upload this on the 2nd, I hope that this information helps you. These are things that I've personally done and gone through to where I'm able to actually speak on it, right? So I'm not going to talk to you about something that I haven't personally done myself. I'm very excited for this winter arc. I just feel like it's a good time to create content too. Just something about winter now. And in the past, I used to dislike winter, but to be honest, I'm liking it now. So let's go ahead and get this started. You're going to see me looking back and forth between the camera and the PowerPoint because I just want to make sure that we're on exactly where we need to be. So suffer the pain of discipline or suffer the pain of regret. So just the beginning, I don't know where exactly I got this quote from. I have it on my phone in my notes. Came across it the other day. And it just makes tons of sense, right? So getting into something new, our bodies don't like change. Like, it's just like we have all the resistance in the world to start something new. And even the pain of discipline, you could just think of it as the gym. Your muscles don't like being torn up. Your body doesn't like being beaten up, whether you get in like combat sports or things like that. But the end result of what you do by going through this pain is, clearly worth it. The person that you end up being on the other side of all this discipline and all this suffering that you're going through, right? It's worth it. But the suffering from the pain of regret. So that is something different. More negative, right? It's you don't want to have regret. We all make our decisions throughout life and things that we do, and the only thing we can do is move forward. So I advise not to have regret, although some people will have it, and even sometimes I have my moments of where I'm like, man, I shouldn't have done that. But the only thing we can do is move forward. So don't worry about the past, worry about what you can do today and what you can do tomorrow and the following days after that, and keep moving forward. But you won't have that regret, right, if you stay locked in. So stay locked in. Let's go to the first slide. So it's the time to get uncomfortable. And what do I mean by that? Well, being uncomfortable causes growth. So it's just kind of like how I mentioned, your body is not going to like going to the gym for the first time. And your body's not going to adjust to it very well. In fact, the way that we operate, our brain could be telling us like, hey, I don't want to go to the gym today because I really don't like feeling that uncomfortable. But this is where you have to push past that resistance and you have to still show up for yourself and still show up to the gym or whatever you decide to go, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be the gym, but it's just things like this, like pushing past being uncomfortable is what's going to help you grow. It's like if you start a business, like when I first became a realtor, like I was super nervous with a lot of different things, calling, friends, past friends, things like that, to, just start random conversations with them. But I have overcome that at this point. And because of that, I have developed really great friendships and people who support me because I have pushed past that limit. But had I let my uncomfortability, keep me and hold me back, I would never have developed those great relationships with my friends. And so because of that, I am very grateful and thankful that I have pushed myself past being uncomfortable. And so one thing that you will notice too during this process is that you will begin to see people change on you. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. I have friends who were very close to me for many years. And because I began to take steps like creating content or becoming a realtor or, changing from regular working out to boxing, things like that. It sucks to see it, but it's just sometimes like people do not like to see you change, and you can't worry about what other people are thinking, because if you're worrying about what they're thinking, then you're never going to grow. And that's a part of being uncomfortable, is that you're gonna have to be okay with people looking at you like you're weird or you're not being yourself. But all these things are you just evolving, and it is you, even if you are in the beginning steps of it, because it's something that you want. And you can't let other people hold you back. You might lose some friends during this process. Like I said, it's super unfortunate. I see friends that like used to support me really hard, when I was the old me. And then when I became the new me and I started, you know, creating content or doing all these things that I've been doing for a while now, they're watchers. Like, I'm sure you guys see it too, where people just watch your stories, but nobody ever really like comments, likes, or does anything with any of your posts. I see this all the time. And the people who support me now the most are my most recent friendships. And so that's because they met me with who I am, right? But it's just expected that you most likely are going to have, you know, people that were there by your side to fall off, and it's okay. Sometimes we outgrow people, and it's just a part of the process. So, you know, just be prepared for that. And if you're lucky, you know, it's not going to happen, but when you continue to grow, it really doesn't faze you as much, because at that point you're just understanding that you're just on a different wavelength than them. And that's how I like to see it. So this is the time to make these next steps a habit and lifestyle. So we're not looking to just get through the winter arc and go right back to who we were. So what I want you guys to get out of this is these are things that you need to carry with yourself throughout your life. And you should. I mean, if you get through the whole winter arc, then that means you're going to have these habits drilled in, because it takes about 3 months to have these habits like drilled in. And so, and you will see results too at the end of the 3 months. It typically takes about that much time, like working out, building things sometimes. Of course, if it's like a business, it might take longer than that. But you want to make sure that these are habits and it's a part of your lifestyle at the end of this winter arc, because the next winter arc, you're going to evolve even more. So we're looking at that, but this is a start to your self-mastery journey. So same thing. It's basically self-mastery, which is, you know, going against yourself sometimes, going against the flesh, if we're looking at spiritually. And our flesh and our body is going to tell us we don't like doing this, we're uncomfortable. Maybe you get a little anxious, some anxiety when you think about approaching, you know, that woman, or you feel like going to the gym and you just don't want people to watch you, or, you know, anything like that, posting online and you're worried about what people think about you. But this is going to build you like tremendously, going against yourself. And of course you don't want to go against yourself if it's like a bad decision, right? But going against yourself as far as like fear and being uncomfortable, the person, the man or woman that you come out of this situation is going to be, you're going to notice a massive difference. So just keep pushing along. So let's get into this, where it's reinventing yourself. At one point, a lot of people viewed me like, you know, as a lifter, which is cool. Like, I'm cool with that. But I began to start my boxing journey, right? And so now it's really cool, because if I worried about what other people thought, like, who is this guy? He's getting into boxing at the age of, you know, when I started, it was 28. Now I'm 30, right? So if I thought like they're looking at me, they're thinking I'm too old, or whatever the case is, I wouldn't be as good as I am today. I've been doing it for over a year now. I would honestly say that I'm the healthiest and the most athletic I have ever been. And that's because it's okay to reinvent yourself. So don't worry about what other people think. If you're going to become somebody new, then you don't have to, you know, well, if you're going to become somebody new, then that's just going to be who you are. So let's start with number 1. So if you're not working out now, I highly recommend that you start working out. And the reason being is it's a really good foundation to discipline and beginning to develop discipline. And you don't necessarily have to jump into a diet like in day 1, but if you can at least get the habit of going to the gym at least 3 times out of the week. But even if you start with once or twice, it doesn't matter, as long as you are making it a habit and you are beginning to get that done. And your future self is going to thank you later, because your body's going to just operate more efficiently, and you're going to be able to do more than the average person who has not taken care of himself. So number 2 is to get into a combat sport. So this might not be for everybody, but this is something that I highly recommend, because it's something that I took and it had developed my confidence greatly. And like I said, I could have been worried, I could have been shy about going into the gym. I did this like maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Actually, it's probably been like 6 years, who knows? It's been a while, where I first stepped into a gym. I was 25, so actually probably, yeah, about 5 years. And boxing gym. And I went in for a couple months. I got into a car accident because I was just being ridiculous, to be honest. And because of that, like, I was worried. I didn't show up for about a month or 2 of training. By the time I got my car back, I just completely dropped boxing in general. And I never went back because I was worried about what other people were gonna think. So don't let that happen to you. But getting into a combat sport, I can tell you that, like, once again, my confidence being able to know that you can protect yourself and protect your family and whoever is closest to you in like a situation of danger, it really makes you carry yourself differently. And of course, we're not looking to get into fights, but if you can defend yourself and you're trained for it, then you're gonna feel much more confident, even if you're just walking down the street at night. Although you might not like it, it's a little uncomfortable, but at least if something happens, you are trained for it. And I know I keep saying that, but it's because you have no idea how much of a difference it makes as far as like confidence. So pay attention to what you eat and drink. So like I said, you don't have to go straight into a diet right off the bat, but you do want to be a little bit more conscious of what you're eating. If you're eating pizza every day and you're going to the gym, you're not necessarily going to make any results like that. You want to focus on things with maybe like more high protein, more nutrients, things like that, if you're going to also want your body to recover well from going to the gym. And I also put drink there because I made the mistake last year's winter arc where truthfully, like I would go out quite a bit. And although I was locked in all my goals, I would still take one day out of the week and I would have more drinks than I should, right? Maybe like more than 3 margaritas if I'm being honest. And although I didn't let it necessarily like affect me and my goals, it probably held me back. And those are the things that I don't want you to do because I've already made that mistake. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself every now and then, but just don't make it a habit. So start posting content. So this one might not be for everybody, but once again, I highly advise it. And the reason why is because it made me feel extremely comfortable with posting in front of strangers. It made me extremely comfortable with talking on the camera, and it made me even more confident when it came to, having to present myself with anything. And when I became a real estate agent, it was already easy for me to make that transition into talking into the camera because I was already doing that. And so when you begin to pick up like these skills and traits, it just does wonders for your life. And not only that, but to be honest, like if you are in the start of your journey and you start posting content, like who cares if you're not at your end goal yet? Like I said, we can't worry about what other people think. And the ones who are really not doing anything are the ones who are the haters. So you can inspire other people to begin a journey as well. And that's really what, in my opinion, what life is all about, is we want to uplift one another. We want to inspire each other. And if you are posting and you are doing like a really good job on your progress throughout this winter, then you could be the sole reason that you motivate somebody close to you or in your life that they're going to change their life for the better, and that can follow them for the rest of their life. So that's why I say start posting content, because you have the power to inspire others, whether you believe it or not. It's inside of you. It is literally inside of you to be able to do that, especially once you begin your journey. An early morning routine. So an early morning routine, I personally believe that they're really good because in the morning, especially if it's early morning, and I'm talking about like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, nobody else is typically awake at this time except for the people who are on the same journey and path as you, which are the people that you want to talk to and meet anyways, and maybe people who have to go to work. But the majority of the time, nobody else is awake, and so this is where you can solely focus 110% on yourself. You could literally get up and read a book. I like to read the Bible, a chapter of the Bible, before I go to the gym in the early morning. And my phone's not going off. I'm not worried about clients reaching out to me. I'm not worried about, sometimes my friends hit me up very early, but like I said, they're on the same path as me, so I'm not really opposed to it if they're up at the time and they're reaching out to me, because they just know that I'm awake. But it's just really good to have a good morning routine, because you can start your day off strong and get what you need done, whether it's working out, checking emails, reading a book. And then when you begin the rest of your day, you've already started off like really, really strong, and you're going to feel good and confident, and you'll be able to tackle anything else that comes your way throughout the rest of the day. So I recommend having a morning routine. Clean your surroundings. So what I mean by cleaning your surroundings is our environment plays a very vital role in our mental health. And if you have a very cluttered up room or cluttered up home, and you allow it to just stay like that for days and weeks, like imagine what your mind is like. How could you be organized in a mess? And I know some people say like, my mess is my organization, but to be honest, you just feel more mentally clear coming home and there's nothing on the floor, your bed is made, your dishes are done, And especially if you've had a really long day and you're exhausted, you want to be able to relax, because we can relax. We don't have to be grinding 24/7. At least take some time for yourself to, mentally shut down, mentally relax before you go to bed, so that way you can wake up and tackle the next day with, full energy and being prepared. But cleaning your surroundings is very important, because you want to have a clean environment, and it does a lot for your mental health, to be honest. So let's go to the next slide. So spiritual. So I'm not going to push this down, your throat or nothing, like crazy. But to be honest, it's done a lot for me in many different ways. And life is not easy alone as it is, right? So I live by myself. I'm on my own. I have family in another city. They're in El Paso. I'm like eight hours away from them. And I do have a cousin who lives close to me, but he lives by himself too. He's on the same journey, basically. And life gets very challenging, and we have a lot of ups and downs, and God is always there for us, And so in my opinion, I vouch for God, Jesus Christ. I say that if you have God in your life, how can you ever feel alone? Because you have God that's always going to be there for you no matter what. And when you have faith, you know that things are going to be okay in the lows. And I've seen him work in my life in many different ways, to where it's like things look like I have my back against the wall. It looks like I'm about to fail. It looks like things are not going to go in the direction that I need them to go. But it always, 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 always turns around, even if it's in the last minute. And that is God looking out for me. And God is looking out for you, whether you believe or not. But that's why I believe in spiritual, because it's just, you can't do life by yourself. It's hard. It's impossible. And you also begin to have a deeper understanding of yourself. So like I said, it doesn't necessarily have to be to where you are, focused on God. But if you are spiritual and you are looking within, then you're going to learn more about yourself. And in the end return, you are going to be able to handle situations better. You are going to understand yourself like on a deeper level, to where like, why is this affecting me? Why is this making me react this way? And those are things that you want to look deep down within yourself, because we all have souls, and your soul is unique in its own way. And you just want to better understand yourself. And that's a really good way for growth too. So here are some action steps that you guys can take, to begin to get this process rolling. And the first one is to envision your dream life. So you want to manifest it. I'm sure you've heard of manifestation. And if you can envision it and you can see it clearly, then you can create that reality. And so envision your life and where you want to be and what you want to do, which leads us to step 2, and that's writing out your goals. So I write out goals sometimes where I check off, well, I don't write them sometimes, I write them all the time, but I have goals, but I don't always check them off, that's what I mean. But that I work on, and I have them written down, and it's good to like look at them every day. You can also have a vision board, and when you accomplish these things, you can check it off too, and that's also like a really good feeling. And so writing down your goals is very important. It's almost like they say, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. So if you have it written down, that goal exists. If you have it on your vision board, that goal exists. But if you just have it in your mind, then it's different. It's not the same feeling. So I would highly say envision your life and write down the goals that are going to get you to that life. So step number 3 is take action today on one goal you can complete. So if you've never been to the gym, go to the gym today. Even if you just go and sign up, but go to the gym today, and you have already started your journey. You have already taken the first step. If you decide that you want to start reading books, maybe one once a week, one once a month, whatever the case may be, is read the first 5 pages today. When you take that one small step on that goal, that is going to begin to, roll into the other ones. So let's look at step 3. I just said that. So step 4, repeat previous step and add one more goal to complete. So you want to repeat the next day. You want to repeat the gym. So if you went and signed up at the gym, well, the next day you want to go to the gym, but this time you're going to exercise. If you worked out yesterday, now you want to go back to the gym again today, and you want to be able to exercise. And then the new goals. So for example, if you have another goal, let's say now you have the lifting and now you have the reading the book. So on today, you want to be able to work out and read 5 pages of the book, and then repeat that process again. So that's the next step, which is going to repeat your actions daily so the snowball effect begins. So if you work out once, then you work out twice, and on the second day you read 5 pages, then the third day you work out again, and it's okay to take rest days, so don't feel like you have to go 5 days straight. But that day you also read another 5 pages. Now you're 10 pages deep into that book. You're 3 days already into your workout out of the winter arc, right? Which is 3 months. The next day you can take a rest day, read your book again, and then now you're 15 pages in, and then when the day you go after that, now you're like 4 days into your workout. Like as far as like, you know, so it begins to add up. It begins to snowball, and you see that at the end. And they actually say, like, people will say that you're lucky for this and that, but it's not luck. You just prepared yourself for the opportunity. So when the opportunity comes, you are prepared. So whatever the case may be is letting your actions speak for themselves. And even if you don't see the results right away, it's gonna come. So success is sometimes repeating the same boring actions daily, and that's just the truth. Not every day is going to be extremely fun. Not every day is going to be, you know, exactly the way that you want it to be. But by repeating these actions, it snowballs, and then you're gonna see that eventually you're going to grow in many different ways. When I first began boxing, I didn't know how to do proper technique. I didn't know how to punch properly, but now I can hit the mitts, I can spar, I can get into my first fight if you know, once my coach says I'm ready. But for the most part, I'm pretty far into my training, and that's just because I showed up, even if I didn't feel like it sometimes, because once again, I went from lifting to boxing, and my brain is scared to get into the ring. My brain is not excited about the rigorous workout that I'm about to have because I show up to boxing, since it's a different type of training. But you begin to adjust to these things, and it begins to get easier and easier within time. And one day you just show up and you're like, man, I didn't even know I could lift that. Man, I didn't even know I was so close to finishing that book. And so you got to let these things become daily habits. 1% better each day. Let's just put it that way. 1% better each day. So when it comes to like self-mastery, you are constantly evolving. This is a never-ending process. So it's going to be something that you're going to carry on with for the rest of your life, which is why you start small, right? Let's start with the winter arc. If you haven't gotten into any of these things yet, then when you begin your winter arc, this is the beginning of your never-ending process. But don't look at it in a negative way. It's actually amazing. It's beautiful. The type of man or woman that you become at the end of all of this, and towards the end of life, like the amount of wisdom that you can pass on to other people is awesome. And so you want to be able to keep that with you, and you watch your confidence increase. And so by showing up for yourself all the time, you are going to end up increasing your confidence as just like a byproduct of beginning these types of journeys. And when you complete the promises that you make to yourself, like if you tell you're going to go to the gym, you begin to believe in yourself more as you continue to show up to the gym. If you're going to finish that book and you finish that book, you're going to believe yourself more the next time you tell yourself, I'm going to learn this, I'm going to learn that. And so just confidence is a byproduct of doing these steps and doing these things. And so that's pretty much it, guys. I wanted to hop on here and spit as much information as possible and just let you guys know that all this is possible, and everything that you guys are looking to accomplish can be done. And you're not going to be the first person to do it, which means that it can be done. Somebody else was in your shoes at one point, and they had a dream and a vision, and they made it happen. And so I'm rooting for you guys, and I want to be here through your winter arc journey. I want to be a part of your process. So feel free to add me on my socials. Feel free to DM me. Feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to comment. Even if it's a year later, I'll come back to this video and I will answer your questions, because I want you guys to grow just as much as I want myself to grow. But if I can help you guys from things that I have learned and things that I have gone through, and pass that information so you don't repeat those same mistakes, then I definitely want to do that. So that way, if you can accelerate even faster, then I mean, that's awesome. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you made it this far, please let me know down in the comments below. Subscribe, like my video, and I will catch you guys in the next video, and let's get it.
Okay, Kino, I see.
Dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know you want to cry all night.